My sister Clara was always the rebellious one. So when she told me she was going to spend a week at the abandoned St. Augustine's convent for a spiritual retreat, I wasn't surprised, just worried. The place had been closed for decades, ever since the stories started. Stories about a nun, Sister Agnes, who had vanished within its walls, leaving behind nothing but a blood-soaked habit and whispers of a dark ritual. Clara just laughed.
"It's just urban legends, Alex," she'd said, packing her camera. "I'm going to debunk the whole thing. Think of the YouTube views." That was the last time I saw her smile. A week passed, then another. My calls went straight to voicemail. The police said they couldn't do anything without evidence of a crime. Desperate, I drove to the convent myself. The building loomed over the overgrown landscape like a skeletal beast.
Its windows were like hollow eyes, and an iron gate, rusted shut, barred the entrance. I found a section of the stone wall that had crumbled away and slipped through. The air inside was cold, heavy with the smell of decay and something else. Something cloyingly sweet, like old incense. Dust motes danced in the slivers of moonlight piercing through the grimy stained glass windows. My footsteps echoed unnervingly in the cavernous silence. "Clara!" I called out, my voice a small, trembling thing. Only the silence answered back. I found her camera first, lying on the stone floor of the main chapel, right in front of the altar. The battery was dead. I swapped it with the spare I'd brought and powered it on. The last video she recorded flickered to life. It was shaky, filmed in night vision. Clara's voice was a frantic whisper. "I was wrong," she said, her breath fogging the lens. "She's real, Sister Agnes. She's not a ghost. She's a guardian." The camera panned wildly, showing strange symbols painted on the walls, symbols I didn't recognize. "This place isn't a convent," Clara whispered, her voice cracking. "It's a prison, and she's the warden." Suddenly, a shape moved in the background of the video, a tall, slender figure in a nun's habit, its face obscured by shadows. A blood-curdling scream erupted from the camera's speaker, and the footage cut out. My heart hammered against my ribs. A prison? What did she mean? I explored deeper, my flashlight beam cutting through the oppressive darkness. I found the dormitories, rows of simple cots covered in dusty sheets. In one of the rooms, I found Clara's backpack. Inside was a small, leather-bound diary. Her handwriting, usually so neat, was a frantic scrawl. The first few entries were typical Clara, mocking the spooky atmosphere, complaining about the lack of Wi-Fi. But then the tone shifted. She wrote about hearing whispers in the walls, seeing shadows move at the edge of her vision. She described a recurring dream of a nun with eyes like burning coals, who beckoned her deeper into the convent's catacombs. The final entry was terrifying. "I found it," she wrote. "A hidden door behind the altar. The symbols from my dream are all over it. Sister Agnes doesn't want me to leave. She keeps whispering. She says the gate must remain sealed. She says it must not be awakened. I have to see what's behind that door. I have to know." My blood ran cold. The gate must remain sealed. I rushed back to the chapel, my light dancing over the cold stone. Behind the main altar, just as Clara had written, was a section of the wall that looked different. Pushing against it, I felt it give way, revealing a dark, narrow staircase spiraling down into the earth. The air that wafted up was ancient and foul. Taking a deep breath, I descended. The stairs led to a circular chamber, its walls covered in the same strange symbols from Clara's video. In the center of the room was a stone sarcophagus, its lid heavy and ornate. But what shocked me was what was standing beside it. It was Clara. "Clara!" I cried, relief washing over me. But as she turned, the relief curdled into pure terror. Her eyes, they were no longer the vibrant blue I knew. They were black, empty voids. A faint, cruel smile played on her lips. "You shouldn't have come, Alex," she said, her voice a distorted echo of her own, overlaid with something else, something ancient and guttural. "Sister Agnes tried to warn you." "What have you done? Where's Clara?" I stammered, backing away.
"Clara is helping," Clara hissed. "She understood. The ritual requires a vessel, a new guardian for a new age." She gestured toward the sarcophagus. "For centuries, Sister Agnes has kept him locked away, but her power is fading. She needed a successor. Clara volunteered." My mind reeled. This wasn't a haunting. It was a handover. Sister Agnes wasn't a malevolent spirit. She was a jailer, and her shift was ending. Clara hadn't been taken. She had taken the job.
"You're not Clara," I said, my voice shaking. "What are you?" The thing wearing my sister's face laughed, a sound like grinding stones. "I am the new warden, and you are the first sacrifice to test the strength of the new lock." From the shadows behind her, a figure emerged, tall, gaunt, in a tattered nun's habit. Its face was a pale, emotionless mask, but its eyes glowed with a faint, weary light. It was Sister Agnes. She wasn't a monster. She was a prisoner, just like the thing in the sarcophagus. She had failed. "Clara, fight it!" I screamed, a desperate, final plea. The smile on her face widened. "There is no Clara," she whispered as she took a step toward me, "only the gatekeeper." Suddenly, the lid of the sarcophagus began to grind open. A deep, resonant hum filled the chamber, and a horrifying, non-human screech echoed from within. The thing that looked like my sister turned its head toward the sound, its expression one of ecstatic reverence. In that moment of distraction, the real Sister Agnes moved. With a speed that defied her weary appearance, she lunged, not at me, but at the thing that wore Clara's form. She wrapped her arms around it in a final, desperate embrace. "The gate must hold!" she shrieked, her voice filled with 1,000 years of pain and duty. A blinding white light erupted from her, engulfing them both. I shielded my eyes, and when the light faded, they were gone. Both of them. Vanished. The sarcophagus lid slammed shut, and the unholy screeching was cut off. Silence descended once more, absolute and profound. I stood there, trembling in the dark chamber. My sister was gone. She had sacrificed herself, not to a demon, but to a duty she had stumbled upon. She had become the new lock, the new Sister Agnes, the eternal warden of whatever evils slept in that stone box. I scrambled back up the stairs, out of the chapel, and ran from that cursed place without looking back. I never told the police what really happened. Who would believe me? But I know the truth. My sister is still in that convent, not a ghost, but a guardian, and I pray every night that she is stronger than Sister Agnes was. I pray that the lock holds. Because I heard what was inside that sarcophagus, and if it ever gets out, heaven help us all. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. And remember to check out our other videos. Until next time, stay safe.